all poems in the same way. They are similar in this sense, that is, they, you know, all have imagery, all have context, all have voice, all have speakers and so on and so forth. So today's poem by Matthew Arnold is really a very sort of influential figure in the 19th century. As you can see, born 1822, died 1888, and he's really a very important figure because of his ideas and his originally his philosophy. Really, he is more a philosopher than a poet to many people and thinker, because he wrote a lot of things to do with democracy, about education, things to do with society. And as I said, because he's talking about Victorian life and Victorian literature and Victorian influence on people and on faith, especially after Darwin's theory of evolution. You know, this crazy man, Charles Darwin, who wrote his big book on evolution. Anybody heard of Darwin, Charles Darwin?
Yes, doctor.
Amir, you know Darwin?
Yeah, doctor. The man.
Yeah, Darwin is a. Yeah, Darwin. Yeah. Really, Darwin challenged all our beliefs, if you like, to do with our, if you like, origin. And I think Darwin was a crazy. I think he was a racist man in so many ways. He was saying that black people or African or Oriental people, or mainly African people with flat noses and thick lips, are like monkeys. And he's saying we people, have descended from apes. I mean, this is really ridiculous, and this is crazy to say that we came down from apes. I mean, as I said, he said it really, he challenged the whole concept of religion, because we believe all really monotheistic religions, all monotheism really believe that we are created on the image of God, not the image of apes, like what this terrible man is saying. Well, why he said this? Really, for really imperialistic reasons, because he was writing for the British Empire to support the idea that these people are not developed. We need to develop them. We need to help them. They are, they need still a lot of stuff to become human. This idea was absolutely purely for colonialist reasons, terrible colonialist reasons. And so many Christians really in Britain and in the West were absolutely against him. Even this poem here, this poem which we are going to read today, actually Matthew Arnold couldn't publish it because he thought it was maybe dangerous for people to see or to read, because he was against really this idea of losing faith, because many people at that time, to some extent, lost faith as a result of the Industrial Revolution, or, as I say, all these crazy things going on in Central and in Western Europe generally in the middle 19th century, 1850, 1860, 1870, 1840. Remember, this time was the time when even Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels were writing about socialism and about the sufferings of the workers and so on and so forth. And in America, the slave problem and the war. Remember the Civil War in America in 1860, 1865, when American president at that time was assassinated by the people who were in support of slavery. And you remember the American Civil War really began because of this attitude towards slavery. So the whole question of faith was really a big issue here. So this poem is more philosophical, more to do with questions to do with beliefs, with you know, society, attitudes towards politics, and so on. And here you can see the title is called Dover Beach. Dover Beach. Dover is really a small town to the southeast of Britain. On the map, if you look on the map, if you are in London and you go east of London towards the beach, you have the city of Dover. Actually, Dover today is the place where the Channel Tunnel moves from Dover, England to France. Remember the Channel Tunnel, there is a tunnel under the ocean. Do you know that? They dug deep under the ocean, and there is a highway, believe it or not, there is a highway under the ocean, highway for cars and highway for trains, and starts from Dover to Calais in France. I'm sure you know that. Hopefully, inshallah, if you ever go to London, you can travel from there to France by land, well, through the Channel Tunnel. It's a tunnel, actually. Anyway, Dover, the title of the poem is called Dover Beach. The poet here is talking about, you know, I will read for you the poem and you will see that here we have the speaker, a man and his wife, staying in a hotel, or like being in a maybe holiday, a honeymoon. I don't know if it's a honeymoon or honey week or honey day, I'm not sure, but it's something like a man and his wife, or a man and his woman, whoever she is, in that place in Dover, and they are looking over the beach, looking over the sea, and enjoying here, for example, the view of the sea. And here the speaker of the poem is saying this. Let me read the poem for you first, and then we will discuss it. You can see my screen, correct? Hello?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. And yeah, you can see me as well. Is my camera on?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good. Okay, now listen to the poem and then I will explain it. The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair. Upon the straits, on the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand glimmering and vast out in the tranquil bay. Come to the window, sweet is the night air, only from the long line of spray, where the sea meets the moon blanched land. Listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling. At their return, up the high stand, begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. If you notice, for example, about this, you know, the kind of poem, it's quite strange. It doesn't have maybe rhyme, the rhyme that we think there is a rhyme, or the lines different shapes, different length. You know how many, for example, here, you know, different even different feet, you can see here, there's a lot of irregularity here in this poem. So really, there's no real fixed kind of really meter or even the rhyme. Like when you say tonight, yeah, rhymes with light. Okay, fair with air, night air. But you know the line, you know, stand. Where is stand with land and so on. So really, it's a funny if you like rhyme scheme in this poem. I mean, if you want, you can look for one, like you can say, as I said, bay with spray. Okay. Now again, when we say fling with what? With bring. Again, stand with in or begin with in. You know, there is, you know, a strange irregularity of the rhyme here, and the meter as well. There is a mixture of iambic, penta or tetra, or even trimeter. Okay, so look at the next stanza here. I'll come back to the explanation. Sophocles long ago, hear it in the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound of thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. Here you can see again, I think there's maybe here there's a nice, maybe really, if you like, clearer even rhyme. Ago with flow, okay, thought with brought with thought, and we with sea. Yeah, there is here some kind of nice rhyme. Okay. Now the next one, the sea of faith was once too at the full and sound earth's shore, lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled. But now I only hear its melancholy, lone withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast edge drear and naked shingles of the world. Ah, love, let's be true. Ah, love, let's be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, has really neither joy nor love nor light, nor certitude nor peace nor help for pain. And we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. I think this poem is mostly known and important or remembered for this last line, really, for the last line. I don't know, it's really funny. But people really understand or read this poem because of this last line, where armies clash, where ignorant armies clash by night. You know, we have so many ignorant armies everywhere in the world. Many ignorant armies we have in Syria today, clashing by night, and they have no idea what's going on. Really. Ignorant armies clash by night. How many men fought for things that they don't want to fight for? How many people were confused about what they are doing, struggling and doing funny, crazy things? Notice what he said, so various, so beautiful, so new, neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help. Look how many times he's saying no, 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 no. And he said, we are here in a darkling plain. We are here in a horrible, dark area. We are confused. We have no idea what's going on. Yeah. We have so many ignorant armies clashing by night everywhere around us. everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So really this poem is social, political, to do with colonial, to do with the empire. Remember this poem, as you can see, published 1867. Now let me go back to the poem and explain it to you slowly. The man here, the speaker talking to his lady, to his wife, said, the sea, look at the sea, it's calm tonight. It's really nice, lovely sea today, tonight. The tide is full. You know, the ebb, the tide and ebb, you know, the going and coming, you know, the backward and the forward of the sea. That's what we call ebb and tide. What do you call this in Arabic? Do you know?
المد والجزر.
المد والجزر. Yes, very good. المد والجزر. Yes. Tide, المد, and ebb, الجزر. Yeah, very good. So really here, he's saying, look at this lovely sea tonight. It's so lovely. The tide is full and the moon is shining. Yeah, today, actually, last night and the night before, and tonight, Laylat Nusuf min Sha'ban, you know, it's a lovely, the moon last night was absolutely lovely. Do you enjoy watching the moon, by the way?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, but we don't have that time to watch it.
Oh, come on, Basmala, I don't believe you. Basmala, stop complaining. I know you.
She's right.
Oh, come on. You don't have the time to look out of your window to see the moon?
How did you know that?
Oh, last night I walked in last evening at 7:15 before the closing down. I walked in my street here and I watched the moon. It was so lovely, unbelievable. Come on, the moon. You should have time to watch the moon because it gives you really a lot of positive energy. Really, it gives you a lot of lovely feeling. Yeah, it's a great thing. You know, that's why, you know, I don't know. I mean, this is really, I don't know. Are you writing something in the chat? Yeah. People talking about, yes, about naturalist, about Darwin. Yeah, very good, yeah, Muhammad. Yes. Yeah, he was a naturalist, geologist, and biologist. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, you took this from Wikipedia. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Anyway, so here he's telling his wife, come and look at the sea. It's so lovely, the sea here. Look at the moon shining and lovely and beautiful. Upon the straits, you know the word straits, you know, there's straits means narrow areas in the sea, sometimes in the land, where you have, I think here in Oman, in the Sea of Oman, around Oman, we have sometimes a lot of straits. Means narrow areas where the land, you know, when the sea becomes really, the water becomes narrow, and then it widens and it gets narrower and narrower, or wider and wider. And actually, there's a musical group, a music group. Actually, it was a very famous group called Dire Straits, and the main musician in that group was called Mark Knopfler. And there was actually, he's British. He's actually, I don't know, maybe you don't know them because it was during my time when I was in my 30s. Well, it was 30 years ago. It was a very famous British music band called Dire Straits. Dire Straits. Dire, D-I-R-E, means, you know, absolutely dangerous and hectic, and you know, meaning to travel in these straits will be really dangerous. So he said,
like,
look at them, yeah?
Like the Suez Canal. It has been blocked by Evergreen, the light ship Have you heard about the doctor?
But the Suez Canal is a man-made. Remember, the Suez Canal we say, not channel. There's a difference. Do you know the difference between canal and channel?
Not really, but one of them are man-made, maybe.
Very good. Man-made, very good. Channel is naturally made, and canal is man-made. Very good. Qanat Suez is, we call canal because it's man-made, whereas channel is naturally made by God. And
So
I've heard
are channels.
No, straits not for canal, no. Straits normally are naturally made.
Okay.
Subhanallah. Yes. Yeah. So the man here is saying, look at this lovely moon on the straits of Dover. And he said, on the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. You see, he's talking about the French. How? Because I'm saying, of course, I think he's exaggerating because you can't see, because the gap between England and France, 33 miles. You can't see by natural vision. People can't see for 33 miles distance. So he's exaggerating. He's saying, look, you can see the French coast there and the light of the French coast shining, notice, gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand. You know cliffs? When you have really mountainous area, and here again in Oman, you have a lot of cliffs. When the sea meets the land or mountains meet the water immediately, and you see this high, really steepy, land, we call this cliffs. So he's saying the cliffs of England stand glimmering and vast out in the tranquil bay. Bay, again, we say bay is like like a gulf. It's a small gulf, really. We call it bay. And the same word bay, it's used for laurel. They use the same word for bay for laurel, which is al-ghar. I mentioned this to you before. Come to the window. He's saying to her, come, my sweetheart. He said, sweet is the night air. He's saying, come to the window and feel this air coming. Look at it, how lovely. Feel it, sweet is the night air. Only from the long line of spray where the sea meets the moon-blanched land. He's saying, look at this lovely smelling, and even the spray of the water even reaching the, remember they are in a hotel near the water, near the sea, near the beach. Like here, I've seen actually some hotels, some lovely houses right at the beach in a Sp area here. It's in a Sp old market. It's a lovely area in some places. You can see buildings right at the sea, which is really good. And in many places, again, I think here in Oman, I've seen that. So he's saying, come and feel the lovely breeze and spray of water coming and the smell of the sea, and again, said the moon shining. Listen, he said, listen. You hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling. You know, when the waves come and go, especially when waves, they take with them these pebbles. You know pebbles? The small, rounded, soft, rounded, stones, tiny stones. We call them pebbles. In Arabic, we call this al-bahs. Pebbles really is saying, look, the noise. I think sometimes if you hear this, how the waves they go and then come, and they're coming back, they make the pebbles give this noise. He said, grating, notice. a grating roar, means this whoosh sound, you know, this, how the sound going and coming and going and coming. And saying, listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the high strand, begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence, slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. As if he's saying, these waves going and coming, and bringing the noise of these lovely sounds of the pebbles. And again, they bring us the scene and the ease, he said, the ease and the, you know, the way they, the slow movement. And notice he used the word cadence again, like the movement of the army and this, the tempo. And you know, he said the eternal note, as if to say this sound coming out like a musical really symphony, which is completely going on and on and on and on. And he said, what this symphony is bringing sadness, he said. Sadness. Why sadness? Why? What's wrong with you, man? Because he's sad, because now we have lost everything. Because in the second stanza, he said, Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean. Sophocles? Going back to Greek history, to Greek time. He said, Sophocles was here. Where here? In the Aegean Sea, he said, heard it on the Aegean Sea. And it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. So he wants to say that this sea here was the source of knowledge long time ago. This place here in England was the source of knowledge and education and learning and blah, 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 blah for many years in the past. But he's saying, again, this place now is the source of human misery. What misery? What misery? Really, he's referring here to the question of colonialism and the colonial occupation of other nations and other places. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound of thought, hearing it by the distant northern sea. This sea here, he said, this sea is supposed to be the sea of knowledge and help and education and the humanity and love and passion and religion and Christianity and blah, 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 blah. But unfortunately, it became the source of misery. And in the third one, he goes on to say, the sea of faith was once too at the full and drowned earth's shore. Again, he comes and contradicts himself here. He's saying this sea again was the sea of faith. What a terrible thing. You know, Matthew Arnold is so arrogant and he has no idea that we gave them Christianity. We gave them Christianity. We gave them Christianity from our greater, you know, Syria, because Christ was here, not there. He said, our sea was the sea of faith, was once the sea of faith. Faith was once too at the full and drowned earth's shore. Meaning we gave Christianity and civilization to all nations. Billah عليك. بالله عليك يا عمنا Arnold. Huh? What are you talking about, man? Yeah. Arnold, as a colonial poet is saying this: we gave people, we conquered nations, we occupied nations in the name of Christianity, in the name of education, in the name of civilization, in the name of help, in the name of humanity. We want to humanize them. Now we go back to Darwin. Darwin was writing at the same time, exactly the same time. These people need help. These people need faith. These people need progress, blah, 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 blah. It's really like the novel Heart of Darkness. Joseph Conrad was saying the same thing. Joseph Conrad in that novel said, Heart of Darkness is not in Africa. Darkness is in England, in Western Central Europe. Darkness is within, not without. What a terrible colonialist, racist, ugly notion to say that this sea was the sea of faith. And he put here the capital C. بحرنا كان بحر العلم بحر الإيمان. الله أكبر عليك يا ولد. Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. The sea of faith was once too at the full and round earth's shore, lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled. But now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. Really, our friend is angry because he's saying our empire is dying. This sea was the sea of faith, and now we are losing. Remember, the British Empire, I told you, conquered 2/3 of the world, 2/3 of the globe, from Vancouver in Canada to, even, to the very, very, very southeast of Auckland in New Zealand. Terrible people. The British, our friends, the English now. Anyway, the idea he's saying, now this place is no longer the sea of faith. Now the faith is lost. Now it's melancholy. Now it's withdrawing, he said, withdrawing, retreating. By the night, he said, down the vast edges and naked shingles of the world. Naked? What's wrong with you, man? I mean, these shingles, this, shingle bell, this like the noise, the sound which, the sounds of bells, and the tolling of bells, as if to say these churches are no longer giving any faith to anybody. Have we lost everything? Have we lost our faith? Come on, people. And he said to his wife, love, let us be true to one another. Let us be true to one another. For the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, has really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain. إن كان العالم يا حبيبتي قد مات دعينا أن نكون مخلصين لبعضنا البعض يا حبيبتي. دعينا. Love. Let us be true to one another. إذا العالم كله صار كذاب خلينا نحن نكون صادقين يا بنيتي. You understand? Really, that's what he wants to say. We have lost the empire, we have lost faith, we have lost religion, we have lost everything. Can we be true to each other, my love? Let us be true to one another. for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams. Now this land seems to be absolutely empty like dreams. So big, so various, so beautiful, so new, has really, which looks like so good, so nice, so beautiful, so, has really no joy, has really no love, has really no light, no certitude, no peace, no help for pain. يا بنيتي يا حرمة ما لك غيري أنا بس. That's what he's saying. Let us be true to each other. عامر.
أنا دكتور.
Do you say this to your wife? Let us be true to each other. Huh?
Yeah, just last night, yes, doctor.
You said this last night to your wife. Very good.
On the shining moon, Amr?
On the shining moon, Amr.
It's the small details that matter.
Yeah. Let us, he said, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like us, a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, has really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain. And we are here on a darkling plain. ونحن هنا كالعميان في أرض مظلمة. ونحن هنا كالهبلان. الأهبل, you know الأهبل? Yeah. We are here, he said, we are in a darkling plain. Very dark, miserable. We are stupid, ugly, blind peoples. You know, fighting here for nothing. We are all, he said, swept with confused. Why are we alarmed by why? What's going on? We have no idea. Alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. Really, this line here, really, it means a lot. If you want to fight for a cause, if you want to really fight for a cause, you should tell your men and your soldiers, we are fighting for a good cause. So your men will fight with you and they know why they are fighting. So they will really fight in a real courageous, powerful way, and they are ready to die and to sacrifice their bodies for the cause. But if you take an army, if you drive men and women and whatever to fight for a cause which you have no idea why, so he's saying here, you are like in an ignorant army which is fighting by night, meaning you shoot, and if you're shooting by night, you don't know, you can't see your enemy, so what are you shooting then? Ignorant armies clash by night. يعني والله هاي مصيبة. It's really a real مصيبة. It's a real problem to fight in the middle of you could be killing your own brother. You could be killing your own neighbor. Yeah. So you can see here this poem really is philosophical, political, social, ideological, racist, blah, blah, blah poem. And that's the last poem I will give you, boys and girls, in this course. I hope that you have enjoyed the poetry section. And that's it for poetry. Next hour, next class, I will give you a drama. As you can see, I gave you a little introduction, a little really conclusion here, analysis of the poem. I gave you here the ideas that I was telling you throughout. As you can see, it's a long, really as you can see, I gave you 2 pages. Please read all this because it's really very important. Really analysis, because I wanted people to know the exact meanings and ideas in this poem. I think I've done enough explanation of the poem itself, although, as I say, you can see it here explained to you in addition to what I have already said. Again, you can listen to my previous recordings of last term, because I can't remember if I gave the same. I think I did last term the same poem. Right, boys and girls, any question about the poem? Very good. Yeah, Brahim said we did not enjoy it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Any questions? Any ideas? Hello?
No,
Okay.
doctor, nothing.
I will stop recording.